Hi guys, Ren here. So, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a little while since I last saw you. I have actually filmed like 4 videos in that time. I just kind of wussed out in showing them to you guys. Sorry, I will get a little bit more confident in this as I go along. It has just started to rain really bizarrely, so I'm sorry for the lighting, guys. So today I thought that I would review Rainbow Rowell's new book, Carry On. So Rainbow Rowell is one of my favourite authors right now. She is incredible and Fangirl is my favourite of her books. And so having this come out was like the biggest excitement ever for me because I love the idea of Fangirl. I really wanted to read anything that Kath was writing in that book, and so it was amazing having this book come out. So this book, Carry On, was written as a companion novel to Fangirl. Carry On was the fanfiction that Kath, the main character in the book, was writing about a fictional book series called Simon Snow. So the Simon Snow books had 8 books in them, and Kath was writing a fanfiction about the as yet unpublished 8th book in that novel. Does that even make sense, guys? This is confusing. Okay, so there is a fictional book series that has been written, a fanfiction of, by a fictional character, and that book series is basically inspired by Harry Potter. So you have so much meta going on, you have so much like unique experimental writing going on, and it is absolutely fantastic. So how do I think that this book series actually fit into that? Do I think that it worked? Absolutely. I think that there are some problems that I came across, and I am going to come back to them, but as far as the things that worked, it worked as an experimental piece. I absolutely got to know the characters. I fell madly in love with these characters. They were fascinating, they were interesting, and they were unique, and that is all I ask. And then on top of that, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, the plot was good. It was good, guys. Like, I was surprised by it, and I never get surprised by books anymore, which is really sad. I've seen, like, you just keep coming across those same sort of tropes, and I didn't with this one, and it's so good. So I'm gonna go through some of the things that I thought was amazing about this novel, and guys, there is so much. I just want to give you just a hint of things that are gonna come because it was so good, and I'm so happy about it. So I think the first thing, people are going to probably be really worried that this is just a complete Harry Potter ripoff, and I'm going to admit there are, like, it's obviously absolutely inspired by Harry Potter. You are going to notice those elements of Harry Potter. I mean, this is about a boy who discovers that he's a wizard and he goes to a magic school and he is destined to defeat the evil Insidious Humdrum in this case, but, you know, the evil Voldemort type of that world. So, obviously, it is absolutely Harry Potter-esque, but I don't think Rowell hides from that. I think that she absolutely embraces it, and through that she manages to just surpass that expectation. She has made this world completely her own. It has its own spells, it has its own rules, it has a different sort of wizarding system. It's not shut away like that of the Harry Potter world. It is a lot more open and in the air, although obviously not about the magic aspects of it. Also, the magic system that she uses is, gotta admit, I didn't love it at the beginning, but I absolutely respect the way that she brought it in. That it made sense. The way that they use, like, common phrases and song lyrics and things that we all have rattling around in our heads, the ideas that she used to put that forward and say that that's what gives them that magical property, it absolutely works, and I loved it by the end of it. I have to admit, like, she completely changed my mind, and it becomes slightly less annoying by the end as well. It was very jarring and sometimes silly when you approach it in the fangirl world, and it worked here. It worked a lot more, and I'm really impressed by that. So, is it a Harry Potter ripoff? Slightly, but on the whole, no. I think that it goes far beyond that, and it becomes a book and its own work in its own right, and that is fantastic. So the second thing that I loved the characters. I've said this, I love Rainbow Rowell's characters. She has a complete and utter understanding of human beings, and she knows how to manipulate them in ways that are realistic and true to them and aren't just relying on the same old common tropes that we always see in media, and that makes me so happy. And so specific things that I loved that none of these characters by the end could really be called good or evil. I don't think that Simon Snow is a hero. I don't think that he's a villain either. And she absolutely explored that idea, and it was fantastic. And Baz, the same thing. Like, is he a hero? Is he a villain? He's no one. He's just a boy who's having to make these really difficult decisions in a very, very difficult and compromising situation. And I'd even say the same for the Magi, that by the end, he hadn't completely lost me. It's something that's very, very interesting to talk about, but he became one of the people that I love thinking about in terms of this book. It really, really sort of addled with my brain, and that's fantastic. I love that experience. I love my brain being really, really challenged because I'm weird like that. Why not? So I love those characters, and I love their relationships. I love the way that they manage to talk to each other and communicate with each other, and they try to work together even in difficult situations. The other thing that I really, really loved about this book was the plot. It was phenomenal. I was not expecting it. So what happened in the end just completely blew me away. I was really, really happy with the way it ended. I loved nearly every aspect of it. There were some problems with it, but even if you're not worried about character development, if you're only worried about plot, it absolutely delivers. However, this is where my criticism of the book comes in. It takes a while for it to pick up because we're coming into a book that is supposedly in its 8th book, but we've never actually seen it before. And so that makes it a little bit difficult. We haven't gone on the adventures with the characters, we haven't known the characters, we don't know the rules of this world, we don't know anything about this book, and so we lose so much of it trying to catch up with where we should be at when we're reaching the 8th book. And instead we're on the 1st book, but we're reaching the conclusion of the journey. It's like we've just taken this massive, skipped a step, and you lose some bits in it. I don't think it massively hindered my experience enough that I would say I didn't like the book or that I think it was rushed, but it did somewhat impact it. It needed to be a little bit more concise in our getting to know the characters, but then at the same time you would have lost the character development. So I don't know. This is why I'm not an author. So that's my one major complaint with the book, that I just think little bits of it were just too rushed, and we just spent so long catching up with the characters. And then the second aspect of that is that we lost our connection with the characters, that we hadn't gone on these journeys. I mean, when we got to the 7th book of Harry Potter, we were just screaming and crying for these characters. We felt their struggles and their joy and everything because we'd gone through it with them all. And so that is a massive thing. I've never, like, you rarely experience that with a novel. And here, because we haven't gone through that same journey, it is impacted, that we don't have that connection to the characters. We're not as overjoyed as we could possibly be. And I think that's somewhat of a problem, but it's an understandable problem. So yeah, I think that it is an impact on the novel, but these characters are likable enough, they're interesting enough, and they're unique enough that they're able to go over that problem, and you don't need to worry about it too much. It was just something that I picked up on while reading. Just because it's so similar to Harry Potter, you kind of are just going to naturally draw links between how you felt about Harry Potter and how you feel about Carry On, and that sometimes works against the novel and sometimes really, really impressed me. I've got to admit, some of it made a lot of sense. So that is basically my entire criticism of this novel. The plot was slightly rushed, and because just we didn't see the rest of the series. So basically what I'm saying is, my criticism is, we didn't have more of these books. So, Rainbow Rowell, if you ever watch this, that's my criticism. Write more books. That's it. Yeah. Hi guys, so I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but I've lost some of the footage that I shot earlier today. So it's now nighttime, so it took me a while to realise, but all I wanted to say was kind of conclude my review. I absolutely and utterly loved this novel. I think that it is absolutely worth it if you want to read it. I think if you love Harry Potter, if you love you know, obviously Rainbow Rowell, if you love fantasy and if you love fan fiction, it is absolutely worth it. I went into this novel expecting it to be like a fun, silly romp in the park, like really kind of erotically charged, because obviously fan fiction. So I expected it to be that kind of novel. I expected great characters, but it absolutely surpassed my expectations. I was absolutely so happy with it. So I would absolutely recommend it. Yes, it has some problems. I would recommend it. I loved it. It has amazing characters. It has amazing plot. And it is really interesting. I think it has some fantastic ideas. So, I hope that that was a sufficient sort of I hope that that was sort of a oh my goodness, I'm losing my words. So I hope that that was at least a decent summary. But if you would like to go more into this book and my review, I've actually written a blog post on my blog. I will also leave a link in the description. I hope that you guys liked this review. Please comment, tell me your thoughts on the Simon Snow, anything by Rainbow Rowell. Let me know if this review has encouraged you to actually go out and read this book. Also let me know if you have any books that you would like me to review, because I am always looking for more reading material and I would love to review some of the books that you guys love. So please remember to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy this video. I really hope you did. So I had a lot of fun making this video. So thank you so much for watching and have a great night. Bye! That literally just started. Holy crap, it's hailing. Wow. Yep, that's excellent. Okay.